All right. Welcome to Business Express on Smooth 98.1. My name is Pepple. For the next 15 minutes, we have, of course, Rotus is in already. Good morning, Rotus.
Good morning, Victor. Good morning to all our listeners, and good morning to our guests joining us today as well.
All right. It's a robust conversation. Big one, I tell you. First, we have Fisayo Durojaye, who's always in with us every Friday. Hi, Fisayo.
Hi, good morning, Victor. Good morning, Lagos. Good morning, everyone listening to us.
And we have ace journalist, fine gentleman, Rufai Oseni also joining today. Good morning, Rufai.
Great to be here, Sorry, I'm really happy. It's long.
Rotus, over to you.
Thank you so much. Yeah, I know. So I just want to quickly get to this. The Naira has been depreciating over 700 now to the dollar. Two articles have two different angles that they are taking on P2P, peer-to-peer trading for crypto, and whether that is having an impact on the Naira. So I want to get the thoughts of both our guests. First of all, Bloomberg said, in fact, let me read the headline from Bloomberg. They said, crypto trades drive Naira to new low in unauthorized market. So Bloomberg, the article from Bloomberg is saying that it is peer-to-peer trading on Bitcoin that has driven the Naira to a new low. Nairametrics, however, in their article, they said Nigerians run to crypto amid falling Naira. Bitcoin P2P trading surges by 258% in 7 days. Rufai, let me start with you. What do you make of both articles, and what do you make of it, basically?
Obviously, you know, the first article is spin. That's what we call yellow journalism. I don't know who is paying people to write lies about crypto. How can P2P, be the one driving the fall of the dollar? We all know the factor. We are paying crazy amounts of subsidies. There's crude oil theft. We can't account for money. There's corruption in the system. Accountant General allegations against him of 109 billion. Nigeria is not a producing economy. We all know what is happening. We're not collecting enough dollars. We all know what is happening. We're even borrowing to service debt now. You saw the report come out. We've squandered even all the money we saved for rainy days. As of 2015, our rainy day account was about $2.1 billion. Today it has left 350,000 US dollars. All right, we squandered all the money. A couple of months ago, it was still 35 million. We've taken all that 35 million up to $350,000. Now we might even take it more, maybe to less $50,000 in a national account. We're on our pathway to Sri Lanka, and we are blaming people that are innovating with crypto, young people that are doing innovative things. You see, anywhere the currency fails, you see alternative forms of currency like crypto take over. See what is happening in Zimbabwe. Because the economy has failed. Are you going to blame the resurgence of other forms of currency and money and trading on the Zimbabwean people? No, they have to look for alternatives. And they should even be thankful to crypto, that crypto is coming to save the day. That people are doing P2P lending, that they're even reducing the burden on the dollar. Because if you don't have things like crypto, the body will have been much on the dollar. If it was just one channel of trade, the body will have been so much that it will sink the dollar. It's so bad now that we don't have dollar in the system. Rotus, I was trying to, get some FX from somebody recently, and they told me there's no money in the market, that people that have now determine the price at which they sell it. So even if you meet up with somebody now, he can tell you that my own is 720, I will sell it, and you don't have a choice, you must buy. So there's no fixed rate. When are we going to stop lying? At first, we lied on Aboki FX. We said Aboki FX was the problem. Now it's now a cryptocurrency that's a problem. So that first article was a big spin. The real reason why people are running to crypto is because the Naira is taking a beating. There's no dollar in the system, and people must trade, and they are looking for alternative ways. So let's call it spin a spin. I don't like all these lies and spin, and when they pay people, they will write all sorts of things here and there.
Thanks, Rufai. Fisayo, what's your take?
Yeah, I mean, largely I agree with Rufai on all of the points, right? It's totally responsible, to think that crypto trading is what is driving this. I mean, makes absolutely no sense. And like I said, we blame Apocalypse at some point. I mean, I remember, when this new law started to happen was when the CBN governor made it. He made a statement after the NPR monetary policy meeting that it is illegal to buy dollars with naira. When you make statements like that, people are like, hold on a second, what's happening here? Like, how can the Syrian government say that it is illegal, to buy, dollars with naira, and anybody that is caught will be prosecuted? I'm like, it just begs that question around, okay, what is actually happening, in the country? And I think that it's just the response of people to like, okay, no, I'm not going to deal with this thing again. Let's figure out a way to walk around the restrictions that the government has put in place, for trade to happen in the country. And I guess that's what is happening here.
All right, just before we continue with the conversation, there are several ways to be part of these conversations. Send us messages on WhatsApp. It's 0809-444-0981. Take it over to Twitter at Smooth981FM. Benga Komu is already into the conversation, says, I'm wondering how cryptos affect the Naira. The same way the CBN governor went about Aboki FX the other time. So crypto is the new scapegoat for the fall of the Naira.
Thank you for that. I want to quickly get to Flutterwave and Chipper Cash in Kenya. Fisayo mentioned MPC meeting in Nigeria. After the latest MPC meeting in Kenya, Dr. Durojaye, who is the governor of Kenya, was taking questions. And one of the questions, funny enough, it came from a Bloomberg journalist. And she asked whether Flutterwave and Chipper Cash are allowed to operate in Kenya. And he said, no, they don't have any licenses and they are not allowed to operate as payment service providers in Kenya. And that was all he said. Rufai, what did you make of his comments? And we know everything that is happening with Flutterwave, money laundering accusations, which they have denied in Kenya. What do you make of the comments from the central bank governor of Kenya?
I think it is very sad what Kenyans are doing to Nigerian startups. And I have a lot of backstory as regards this. At first, the case of the registration, most of those startups put in that registration bid early on in January of that 250,000 US. Deliberately, the Kenyan government acted like they didn't see that money, made it fester for a while. Now they slammed most Nigerian startups. I will not say some things because I have too much information about this. I've been on ground in Kenya, but it is sad that those same things that affect startup ecosystem is beginning to play out. I will just give you an hint, Rotus. This slam on these Nigerian companies may not be unconnected with the elections coming up in Kenya. And I will not say more about what has happened in there. May not be unconnected with the elections. And a lot of things have gone on behind the scene that, people will never get to know. But it is sad that interference of governments in startups, in businesses and the likes. I'm not saying, please don't get me wrong, that startups don't have their own problems, that they don't make their own mistakes and all of that. But the companies that they put in bid for that money, for the licensing to be paid, we should ask the Kenyan government under this president, Kenyatta, why is it that they didn't accept the bid? They brought out a fraudulent story. They took them to court. Once they challenged them, something happened. All of a sudden, that case has been dropped. So I am suspecting maybe Flutterwave and Chipper has not got in line yet on the things they ought to get in line to as regards what's happening in Kenya. But it's very sad. And you know why it's sad? Because we support their own businesses out here. There are lots of Kenyan businesses that are here, Kenyan startups. Sendy, I remember the first time I saw Sendy and I saw that it was a Kenyan e-commerce business. I had one done e-commerce. I gave them all the support necessary, up to even posting Sendy's advert on my Instagram page for free. Then why are they doing this to Nigerian businesses? Rotus, there are a lot of things that happen behind the back, but trust me, it's not as quick and fast as you see that is being reported on television And the Kenya government did a lot of hurt to Nigerian startups. But Nigerian startups will bounce again, will still do well in the market, and they will pass through this phase. But it is bad that we, our fellow African brothers, are doing this in the time of politics and political consideration. I won't say more than that. It is sad. And Kenya must make, right what they have done, the wrong they have done to Nigerian startups, especially in the fintech space.
Thanks, Rufai. Fisayo, you also spend a lot of time in Kenya. What do you make of the comments from the central bank governor?
Right. I remember each time when I used to invest in startups, right? And we ask about key risks and mitigation, right? One thing that we always see is regulatory risk, and this is an evidence of what regulatory risk could be. When the government just decides to say, okay, well, someone said that if a police stops you, and you're squeaky clean, right? They will find something. I mean, the fact that they stop you, they can break your glass just to ensure that yes, they find something that you're doing badly, right? So I guess that's what is happening here. It's just one of those political risks, events that are happening. And of course, when Rufai talked about, the Kenyan election with the current vice president and a serial aspirant in Raila Odinga, having the support of the president, versus the president supporting his deputy. A few of those, issues are coming up, and of course, I think that those, like Rufai said, they are not unconnected, and I guess that's one big thing. But again, just to also mention that a company like Cheaper Cash, even though is branded as Nigerian, I think the two co-founders are Kenyans, right? So it is, it's Nigeria's probably a big market in which they operate in, but the two co-founders today are Kenyans, well, Kenyan Americans, so they live in the US, but of course they are Kenyans by birth, right? So maybe it's not a deliberate attack on Nigerian startups specifically, but again, it is just one of those political risks that we need to be wary about, and it's not just in Kenya, in Nigeria, as well. When the central bank had mentioned that ban on crypto, many things that we need to just be watchful around, and that's why some investors don't invest in heavily regulated industry like financial services, because anything can just happen, and of course they'll take that business away from you from a regulatory standpoint, right? And I think that's one thing that we need to figure out how to build out, without government, but there's really no way to do around that.
Right, gentlemen, let's bring in some of the messages that we have in. First from Twitter, we have Truxie saying, Rufai certainly making sense this morning. If not for crypto, the rate would have been 900 Naira to a dollar by now. And
might even still reach the 900.
I hope we don't. Dalvin is in. He says, good morning, guys. They should just sack Emefiele already. We don't tire. That's a message from Dalvin in Yaba. Benga Komu is in again. Are you sure the Kenyans want Flutterwave in that country? He's asking. Andikbo is saying, Rufai, do you remember about 7 years ago when I called the radio station you worked with to talk about the bad economic situation, with me saying in literal terms in Yoruba that this Buhari government wants to bring the world to an end? Samuel George is in, says, wow, it's amazing to have Rufai in the house. Kenya not allowing cheaper and Flutterwave, really? Where even African countries doing this to us. This is not nice. Prince is in. What's the conspiracy theory Rufai is talking about on FW issues in Kenya? Did they commit any regulatory infractions? That's the question. When Nigeria had over $20 billion in ECA about 10 years ago, what did we do with it? Unless we consume what we produce, nothing will change. And finally, Ogonochuku, this administration always looks for something or someone to blame lack of innovation on the situation in Kenya. The Nigerian government should intervene.
All right, we are out of time. I wish we had more time. There's never enough time. Rufai, thank you so much for taking the time to join us this morning. Really, really.
Thank you, Rotus.
Rufai the Fire is his Twitter handle. He has enough followers already. RUFFYD Fire. That's his Twitter handle. Follow him. And of course, watch him on Vice TV as well. And of course, our ever reliable Fisayo at Fisayo Durojaye on Twitter as well. Fisayo, thank you.
Aremo Fisayo.
Aremo Fisayo.
And it's at Rotan Codes. Let's keep the conversation going on Twitter. You can also tag in Smooth 981 FM. You can get all their handles there. Thank you very much, gentlemen. Let's do this again on Monday at 6. Enjoy the rest of your weekend. All right. The show at 7:30.